Okay, how are we? How are we, guys? All right, so this will be our last video dealing with, or rather handling rewrites. Okay, so to all those who are under my WhatsApp group, we are almost done with all the 12, okay, structures and rewrites. Okay, we are almost done. So this video will simply look at the 10th one, the 10th, let me say, type or structure of rewrite. So we'll look at the 10th. All right, so we've covered, let me say, all the 10th. Okay, I've seen some people joining. How are we, guys? Sorry, good morning. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are we? So this video will simply cut, let me say, the type 12. Okay, so this video we will simply cut the type 12, okay, structure of the same rewrite. Okay, so this video will simply cut the type 12 part of the same, okay, rewrites. Okay, so to all those who are under my WhatsApp group, they know what I'm talking about. They know what I'm talking about. So we have done, okay, let me say type 1 up to type 11 now. Okay, so now we have covered type 1 up to type 11. And guys, good morning, Meoda. How are you, Imelda? Have you seen the videos, Imelda, in the group? Have you seen? Have you seen all the videos? Let me say, starting from type, I think 6 up to type 11. I think you have seen them. Imelda, have you seen them? So this video will simply, okay, you should, let me say, I'm from posting them. Let me say, it was around 04. It was around 04. Let me try to check on the other phone. Yes, it was around, let me say 0428. Yes. I've also seen that Lucky commented saying that, okay, yeah, including also, let me say who? This person. Who is this person? Mubiana, yes. So saw them. So Lucky, Mubiana, including Rogers. Yes, almost everyone. Yes. So as for now, let me say they're about what? Okay, so Albert, George, Lister, Lucky, Mobiana, also Rogers. They have seen these the videos in the group. Okay, you should see them because I'm not seeing your name here. I'm not seeing your name because I've just seen about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 names in the group who have viewed the videos, videos. So your name is not here, Imelda. Make sure that you do so. The videos catering, let me say 1 up to 11. Okay. Okay, sorry, Moviana, how are you? As for me, I'm okay. So now, type 1 up to type 11, I have posted them in the group. I have posted them where? In the group. So what are we going to do here in this case? So now here, guys, you should know this. So yes, they are 12, but the key rewrites you should master verbal or know about 4, because these are in almost in every actually these they do come almost, let me say, every year. They come every year. So yes, we are about to cut the 12 type, but let me tell you this, the key rewrites which you have to know. So rewrites involving conditionals, make sure that you know this part very well, go through the videos which I've sent you, you will see. So conditionals, they do come year in, year out, they don't miss. Okay, don't forget, guys, once we say conditionals, we are talking about rewrites involving if, involving unless, okay, involving not until, all these types of transformations, okay? So transformations involving if, involving unless, involving not until, involving provided that, okay, involving provided that, involving as long as, all these types of transformations. So make sure that you know the conditional structures or sentences or rewrites. Make sure that you know them very well, because these, they don't miss, they come year in, year out, guys. So now, when it comes to number 2, at least know these passive structures or sentences. So passive. So now here, when we talk about the same passive, we are simply talking about changing direct to what? To reported, or vice versa, or reported what? Speech, because these, they don't miss, it's year in, year out. You have to know them. So when it comes to changing direct to reported, or it can be reported to direct. So these are vice versa, guys. Make sure that you go through them, because year in, year out, they come. Then now, speaking of the likes of transformations, or rather rewrites, okay, also involving comparatives. So these comparatives, they don't miss. They are very much important, whereby at least you must know what they are. Take note, when we talk about comparatives, normative, comparative, and superlative degrees. So don't forget, guys, when you talk about it, the same thing. Okay, so comparatives, whenever we are comparing two quantities, or whenever we are comparing two people. All right, don't forget those stuffs we did. So number 1, conditional. Step number 2, passive. The number, let me say 3. The number 4 now. Okay, speaking of the likes of time, speaking of the likes of no sooner, speaking of the likes of hardly, barely, all these guys, make sure that you know them, because almost in each and every paper, these are very much common. These are very much important. So when it comes to the other types of rewrites which I have looked at, those they come, but they will just cut, let me say, whereby, let me say, under unreal past, they can get 1. Under conditionals, they can get even up to 3. They can get 3. Okay, they can prepare 3 good questions. Okay, under the same conditionals, they can prepare a question, let me say, beginning with if. They can also prepare a question beginning with not until. They can also prepare a question beginning with unless. So under conditionals, they can try even to bring about 3 good questions. Then now they move to passive, which is direct to reported, or reported to direct. They prepare 1 question. Under comparatives, 1 question. Under no sooner, hardly, scarcely, 1 question. Then they will move also, speaking of the likes of singular rewrites, transformations, speaking of contrast, okay, whereby we'll be looking at the terms like despite of, in spite of, all those stuffs, very much important. Speaking of the likes of 2 to 2 rewrites, speaking of the likes of so that rewrites, all those. All right, so this is how they get to prepare these transformations. So you have to know all these 12. So if you know these 12, then you are very much safe, because from the 12, this is where all the this is where let me say, the rewrites are gotten. All right, so that's what you have to know and also understand. Now, guys, let us move. You have to know the conditional sentences, or rather the conditional rewrites. They are very, very, very important. Take note, under the conditional rewrites, we have 3 types in it. Okay, we don't just call them conditional rewrites. They are grouped into 3 parts. That's what you have to know. Conditional rewrites are grouped into what? 3 parts, or we have 3 types of what? Conditionals. That's what you have to know. Okay, we have 3 types of what? Conditionals. And if you have observed, is that in ECZ examinations, And type 1 is the one which always come. Okay, type 1 is always there. Okay, type 1 is always there. Now when I talk about the same conditionals, best example, let me try to give this sample so that others may also understand what I'm trying to say. So if you study, comma, so if you study, comma, let me say you will pass. Have you seen this type of rewrite? Take note, we have the if clause here, which means we are handling what? We are dealing with what? Conditional sentences or transformations. Now, if you have observed verbal, is that this is where do direct, which involves the first type. Now, if we look at the question verbal, is that these types of questions are the ones which are very much common when it comes to ECT exams. But you have to know there's also the third type. Okay, so to all those who are under my WhatsApp group, you will come across a video I have sent you whereby we are talking about the first and the second. Okay, so now our type 12 rewrite, it is at the third conditional. Okay, even though that one is more deadly if you don't understand it, so I've made it to be type 12. So if you study, comma, you will pass. Now guys, who can try before we even move to the third type so that we close the chapter of rewrites? So if you study, comma, you will pass. So here, who can try it? Begin unless, begin until. Who can try it, guys? Who can try it? Who can try it, guys, so that we do the third type of conditionals? Then rewrites, we are done. We will start looking at close, how to find missing words. Yes, guys, let us try. If you study, comma, you will pass. So if you study, comma, you will pass. Can try. Waiting for your answers, guys. Alright, so Imelda said, unless you study, comma, you will not pass. Take note, Imelda, full stop at last. Full stop. Even though it's online, I see. So, Kalima, how are you, by the way? Alright, so Kalima has a written saying, unless you study, comma, you will not pass. Okay, others? Others? Okay, interesting answers. Okay, then the second one for not until. Yes, I've seen that most of you have gotten it correct for the one which starts with unless. Lucky, you haven't finished the sentence, Kaidi. Yes, we can even try the second one. Okay. Okay. I've seen your answer, Kalima. Others? Henry, how are you? Babosi. How is the society, by the way? Oh, guys, that's Henry, our former student last year. Got a 2 in English. So not until you study, comma, you will not pass. Okay. Okay, that's interesting, Henry. Morning, Genda. All right. So now let us see. So now the question reads, if you study, comma, you will pass. Take note, what did we say? We said that here, we said that the word what? We said that the word, yes. Thank you very, very much, Henry. Thank you very much. Thank you, okay? We said that the word unless means what, guys? Imeoda, stumbeko, others. We said that the word unless means what? What does the word unless mean? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What does the word unless mean? Are you sure, Madonna? What does the word unless mean? What does the word unless mean? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What does the word unless mean? What does it mean? Okay. So the word unless simply means what? If not. We said that the word unless, it means what? If not. That's what it means. So the word unless, it means if not. So the word unless, it means what? If not. That's what it means. So if you check, we have unless, it means what? If not. So the word unless simply means if not. Now if you check in the question, we have what? We do have the word if, and also here we have the word not. But in the question, if you check, we have the word if, and also here we have the word if. This simply means that the word if must not be repeated in the question. The word if must not be what? Repeated in the question. Take note, what did we say? Upon just mentioning, after just a conditional word, what should follow next is the subject. So take note, unless plus subject, not until plus subject. Even here, if you see, we have if you which means a person, all right? Subject. So what are we going to do here? What are we going to do? Here, this word, if, it will replace the word unless. So what are we going to say? So we're going to say, unless you what? Unless you study, okay? Don't forget to even include the comma. You see, you like this, okay? So you say, unless you study, comma. So if you check, here we do have the word if, and also in the sentence we have the word if. So what are we going to do here? So here, after mentioning the subject once again, so after a comma, don't write comma, then you say not, no? After mentioning the subject first, take note, we follow subject, verb, then what? Object. That's the format of a sentence. So you say, you will, which is what? You, which is a subject. Then here we have a verb. So will, then now not. That's when now it will follow. You will not what? Pass. Take note, full stop at least. So unless you study, comma, you will not pass. Congrats, Imelda. Congrats, who? It was who? It was who? I may end up even mentioning someone who hasn't answered it correctly. Yes, okay, yeah. Madonna Kalima. Okay, congrats. All right, so perfect. Now here we do have this one. For beginning, not until, it begins with the word not until. Take note, what did we say under the not until? Who can try to educate me now? Who can try to educate us? Guys, we said what? When you see a rewrite or rather a transformation starting with the word or rather the condition not until, what should you do? What should you do? When the transformation says not until, what should you do? Yes, Henry, you want to try? You can try it. You can try as well. We said what? When you come across a transformation which begins or which has a starter, not until, what should you do? What thing should you put into mind or rather into consideration? We said what? Okay, so we said that here you have to know that here the subject and the verb must do what? Must interchange. That's what we call inversion. Okay, so here not until we have the subject and the verb. Take note, here we do have the word you, which is the subject. Then here we have the verb, which is what? Will. So what are we going to do here exactly? We're going to do like this. So here our subject, it is the word you. Then our verb, we have the word will. So take note, when the transformation begins with the word not until, what are we going to do? We say that, okay, we have to interchange these. So whereby we'll end up saying what? Will you? Don't forget, full stop at last, not a question mark. So what we're going to do here, take note. You the now here where most of the people get it wrong. So not until you, take note, the subject, not until you study. What are you going to do here? Put a comma. Then now here, take note. Before we even put a comma, let us see. Not until you study. Take note. If I hide, not until. If I hide, not until. Okay, let me try to hide it. Okay, I've hidden it. Okay, like this. You have seen? I am having the word you study. Okay, there is the word you study. You study. You have seen? You study, which is a what? Which is a complete sentence. This simply means that no comma must be added here. All right, we must not put a comma here because if we hide, not until, going to remain with you study. Because if someone says you study, okay, it makes sense on its own. Okay, this word you study, it makes sense on its own. Okay, it makes sense on its own. So simply means we just have to continue minus us putting a comma. Take note, we have what you call a dependent sentence. Let me say when I come. You have seen? When I say when I come, you have seen? There's a difference here. You study. You have seen? It makes sense. Now, when I come, it doesn't make sense. So we are going to put a comma here. This is what you call a what? A dependent what? Sentence. This is what you call a dependent what? Sentence. A dependent what? Sentence. That's what you call a dependent sentence in this case. All right, so this sentence makes sense on its own. So we say, not until you study, so no comma here. We're going to say, take note, we have the subject and the verb. So we will say will. So we will say will. Okay. Will you what? Will you pass? Like this. Okay. So that's what it is here, guys. Make sure that you know these verbal. You know them verbal. All right. So now we move to type number. We move to type number 12 now. Now, guys, you have to know that we have three types of conditionals. There's what you call the zero conditional, the first conditional, the second conditional, and the third conditional. Okay, and the third what? Conditional. You have to know that when we talk about the zero conditional, we are simply talking about the truth. We are simply talking about the truth. We are simply talking about the truth. Okay? We are simply talking about the what? We are simply talking about the truth. Okay? So here, in this case, best example of the zero conditional, let me say if people, you have seen, let me say if people don't eat, if I say if people don't eat, comma, they die. You have seen? If people don't eat, comma, they die. If you say, this is true, okay? This is true. This is true. If you check our sentence from here up to here, if people don't eat, they will die. So this type of conditional is what we best refer to it as a zero conditional. It's all about the truth. It's all about the true. It's all about the truth. Okay, it's all about the truth. Best example, if you heat water, it boils. It's a zero conditional, which means it's all about facts. Okay, it's about the truth. Okay, that's what it is. That's what it is. Then now that one, let me say if I say if you, let me say if you study, comma, you will pass. That one is not about the truth. It's more like someone is simply giving you a condition, or rather someone is simply advising you, giving you an advice that if you do this, you will what? You will pass. Okay? It's more like just, let me say, an advice. That thing hasn't happened yet. But in this case, it makes sense. Okay? It's about the truth. But under the first conditional, we are simply assuming, let me say, giving an advice. Okay, it's more like you're giving advice. If you study, if you study, simply means you are giving someone an advice. If he or she takes the same advice, things will be okay. Okay, so the first conditionals, it's all about advices. Okay, the zero conditionals, it's all about the truth. But now you have to know something. We have the third conditional, which is kind of deadly to other people. Okay, which is kind of deadly to other people. You have to know that under the third conditional, you have to know that's where now the word hard it is used. Under the third conditional, that's where now you will end up third conditionals. You will end up seeing the starter or the beginner as hard. Take note, we are used seeing if, we are used seeing unless, we are used seeing not until, we are used seeing as long as, but in this case, we will be used seeing the word hard. Okay? Be like begin if, begin unless, begin not until, begin when, but in this case, they're saying you should begin with the word what? Hard. That's what it is. Take note, when we are simply talking about the third conditionals, we are simply talking about what? A regret. Okay, when there is something that happened, but now you are simply what? Regretting. Okay, if I had studied, I would have passed. Okay, you are simply regretting. Okay, you are regretting the things that you did in the past. That's what the third conditionals are all about. That's where now the word had it is. Take note, here we have the word have. Okay, the now changes to the word had. Take note, have the present tense, then had the past tense of the word what? Have. That's what it is. No wonder here we are simply talking about what? We are simply talking about what? The things that happened, but now you have what? Regretted. Okay, you are simply what? Regretting the things that happened in the past. So we cannot mention the word have, but we are going to mention the word had. Take note that had, it is the past tense of the present tense of the word what? Have. So have, it is the present tense. Then the past tense of have, it is the word what? Had. So we are going to use the word had. Okay. No wonder here the word had plays a very important what? Role. At least to assist you in let me say uh, regretting. Okay. So now here you may end up seeing questions like this. Okay. Let me give you a simple one. So here you say if let me say if she had, you have seen here we have the word had, okay? If she had, so if she had what? So if she had started, comma, she would have what? She would have passed. You have seen? So this is what we call a third conditional. Take note, someone is regretting here, okay? Actually, she is regretting, saying that if she had utilized the time she left behind in terms of studying, she would have passed the examination, okay? So this is just a sample of a sentence of what the third conditional it's all about. Now, let me get a question which came last, it was 2024. So 2024, the rewrites were as follows. So number one, okay, it involved hardly when, then it involved an real past, then rewrite number three. Okay, so rewrite number three, if you check here, we have rewrite number three. If you check number one, it involved hardly, no sooner. Here we have when, so and so far had a loud explosion as soon as he boarded the bus, dash, 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 when, whereby you should use scarcely, hardly, barely. Then number two, it involved unreal past. Then number three, you have seen, here there's the word had. You have seen, guys. Here we have the word had. They are simply expecting you to start with the word what? Had. So, but for the bumpy and dusty road, we would have reached the station before dusk. Okay? These people are regretting, you see? But for the bumpy and dusty road, we would have reached the station before dusk. It's a third conditional. Okay? So these things, they happened long time ago. Okay? Which means these people, they passed, let me say, they used a bumpy and dusty road. Okay? They are simply regretting, saying that if we had used a smooth road, we would have reached early. Take note here, the word dusty. Dusky simply means 18:30 hours, which means in the evening. Okay, but for the bumpy and dusty road, these people are regretting, saying that if we had used a good road, we would have reached early, maybe afternoon or morning. But it is because of the what? Of the bumpy. They are simply blaming the bumpy and dusty road. In this case, these people, they are simply putting a blame, all right, on this what? Road, saying that it is because of this road, that's the reason why we even reached, let me say, around 18:30 hours. Okay, even beyond this. Okay, so now here, what are we going to do here in this case? Let us try this question. We see how it was supposed to be done. Let me try to copy it fast. Let me try to copy it. Okay, so here, let me try to copy it. It was number three. I will simply indicate number three, even me here. So here it reads bird. It says bird, but for the bumpy, looks like this road was bad. Okay, so but for the bumpy and dusty. Okay, but for the bumpy and dusty what? And dusty road. But for the bumpy and dusty road, we would have reached the what? We would have reached the station before what? Before Darsky. Okay, we would have reached the station before what? Darsky. So, but for the bumpy and dusty road, comma, we would have reached the station before Darsky. Then now they're simply expecting us to start with the word had. Before we even do it, who can try? Who can try, guys? Take note, we say the zero conditional, it's all about the truth. Okay, the first conditional, it's all about the, let me say, the possible future. The second conditional, we are simply imagining things. The third, we are simply regretting. Actually, there was a video where I was even, yeah. It was step number 7. If not 7, then number 8. So, yeah. So, but for the bumpy and dusty road, comma, we would have reached the station before dusk. But for the bumpy and dusty road, we would have reached the station before dusk. Begin hard. Who can try? Take note that once they ask you to begin with a third conditional, what are you going to do in this case? You can simply use three ways, okay? You can simply say, since here it says hard, what are you going to do? You can say hard eat, okay? You can say hard eat, okay? Or you can say hard not, okay? Or quickly, you can end up just mentioning the subject, okay? Or the main action, okay? That's what it is. Take note, in English, let me say, if you have a word, okay? If you have a word ending with D, if you have a word ending with D, like here, hard, which means the next word or the next sentence must begin with a letter I. No wonder here we have the word what? It. Like for example, if I say, we say started, we say in, started in. Why? Because here we have D. After D, we have I. Okay, so started in, that's what we are talking about in this case. So, but for the bumpy and dusty road, comma, we would have reached the station before dusk. But for the bumpy and dusty road, we would have reached the station before dusk. Okay, so here it's a choice. You can say hard eat, hard not. You can say hard, then the subject or the main thing discussed. So here, what are we going to say? We can try it. Okay, so you say hard. Okay, what's happening to this marker? Okay, then let me do this. Let me give another one also. A minute, guys, I get another marker. Let me give another one. So I will answer the number 4. Then this one, you are going to get, let me say the idea from the number 4. Okay. Okay. Okay, so number 3, it's yours. I want you to see how we do the other one so that you see how it should be done. Okay, so I will say if he came, comma, I would have gone. If he came, comma, I would have gone. If he came, comma, I would have gone. Then here they're simply asking me to begin with the word had. What did I say? When you see hard, you can say hard, eat, hard, not, or you can say hard, then the subject. Okay, let me first teach you how we can do it with the subject. So, if he came, comma, I would have gone. Okay, so I will end up, take note, I've said hard, eat, hard, not, or hard the subject. So here we have the word what? He. Take note here, the word hard, it will replace the word if. Take note, these are conditionals. They must not be repeated in the question. So I will say, had he come, you have seen? I will say, had he come, comma, I would have gone. I would have gone. You have seen? So I will say, had he come, comma, I would have gone. If he came, comma, I would have gone. Begin hard. Had he came, so had he came, comma, I would have gone. That's what it is. Take note. If, had, they are simply replacing each other. That's what it is in this case. Okay. Or using the word not. So here you can say, instead of just saying directly saying had not, you can say had he, then now you mention the not. I think this way it will help many. So had, take note, I've said that once you see had, you can say had it, or you can say had not, or you can say directly begin with the what, with the subjects, like here what I've done. Had he, which is the subject, they now mention everything. So here you can say, even here you can say had he, even here you can say had he, then you mention the word not. Okay, take note. Once we say not, also here we have to mention the word what? Not. Take note, these are what you call now the double negatives. So if you mention not here, also on the other sentence, you have to mention what? Not. So had he came, comma, I would have gone. So here, had he not, you have seen, so had he not, so what? So had he not what? The marker. Had he not came, okay, so had he not came, comma, I wouldn't have what? I wouldn't have gone. Okay, you have seen. So had he not come, had he not came, comma, I wouldn't have gone. So here you can answer it in this way, whereby you say had he came, comma, I would have gone. Or you can say had he, take note here, there's only one he. Then now also here you mention everything, the sentence, it will be in positive. The entire sentence, it will be in positive. But upon just introducing not, take note here, there must be a contraction also here. Or you can say, I would not have gone. Or you can say, I wouldn't have gone. Okay, so had he not, take note here, we have the word not, which means also here, there's not, there's a contraction. So had he not came, comma, I wouldn't have gone. I hope the idea now has been gotten. So this is how they are done. This is how they are done, guys. So now this question number 3, it's yours. So this question number 3, it's yours. Okay, we'll be expecting for your answers, guys. We'll be expecting for your answers. Otherwise, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We'll be sleeping now. Thank you.